Hello, I'm Oscar from Miss Bonnie's 1301 class in English, and I wanted to talk about some things that I didn't like about uh, the class first, and some things that I really liked about it, as well as what I've learned about myself as a writer. So, one of the things that I first want to touch on is the way that the assignments are labeled. I think that it's not optimal, and it's more confusing than organized, in my opinion. I think that labels should be a bit more simple because, for example, let's say we're in series 3, for example. Um, uh, this is series 3 inquiry, and then series 3.1, series 3.2, series 3.3, series 3.4. They all advance pretty quick. I think like each one of these is like a week that we take a class in, and you can tell that they all look pretty much the same. It's really hard navigating through the site itself. I think it wastes a lot of time of the students, and it can create um, confusion between the assignments. Like I remember messing up on all these around like 6 weeks into the class. I think that's when we were in series 3. They all look pretty much the same, and then even though you're like in here, you have like all these assignments or all this information, and it's really hard to just find where you're supposed to turn in things and where you can find information for your projects and stuff. I think that in the future they should probably make this a little bit easier to read and navigate, um, because it is really confusing to many of us. I've spoken to some of my classmates about this, and they also think that it's more confusing than optimal to let the students know where they are in class. I think one of the ways that you can fix it is by clearing up the labels, making it a little bit nicer to read. Maybe labeling them by week 1, week 2, week 3. I think that's pretty useful. That's what we do in my other classes. And yeah. The second thing that I wanted to talk on were the TED Talks. At the start of the semester, they were cool and all, but maybe after a couple of weeks, I started to get bored of them and caught myself like zoning out at times. Um, Now later on the semester, we kind of stopped watching TED Talks because even though they do provide a lot of valuable information, they're just not that hands-on learning. The time that we used watching those TED Talks and that those informative videos are now being used for something that we can experience for ourselves and doing projects and stuff like that. So for example, these are two of the TED Talks. These are like the first two TED Talks that we watched. I think that we watched them all throughout, so it's like 13 minutes. This one's like 19 minutes. It's just for my opinion, in my opinion, and I think like every other student's opinion, and as well as Miss Bonnie's, because she agreed with us in this, is that just they were just too long. Our classes are 50 minutes long, and taking away 13 minutes can really create like a big difference in the amount of learning that you do in a shorter amount of time. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to like completely bash TED Talks and say that they're bad. I think that they're really good and I do learn a lot from them, but they should be kept to a minimum. Maybe just like the highlights of this 13-minute video should be shown, and just that, and then after that, let's elaborate on what we learned from these people who are teaching us about their experiences and whatnot. So yeah, we should watch TED Talks, but I mean, just keep it to a minimum. Now, later on this semester, Ms. Bonnie implemented this thing at the start of class where a student would be chosen the week prior to that or the class prior to that, and he would be able to show the class a 3-minute video max at the start of the class, just to get us going. Like the 5-minute videos at the start of the class are really important in my opinion, especially how like students now are more inclined to just like sit back and like turn off their cameras and just be doing their own thing, which I think it's like it's inevitable because you're in your house, most of them are like in their beds or like in their room with their laptop or desktop, and in their minds they're just like, oh, I'm not in a classroom. I don't have to try. I don't have to pay attention that much. It should be pretty easy, which can like often lead them to stop caring as much of the class and like just get lazy about it. But the 3 minute videos, in my opinion and in my experience with them, um, really helped me to like get going. You know, the class was like not that early in the morning. It was like at 11, but I mean, it would just get me going and like start my day off nicely. Interacting with other students because we wouldn't do that much in because of the situation right now with COVID. But yeah, I think it's a really good implementation that Ms. Bonnie did add to us in the half of the class. In my opinion, this should be added to like more other classes. For example, if you're in a math class, obviously you don't really need this. You need to like stay focused and like really try to maneuver your way through those numbers. But in classes like English, it's really important to like be active and like talk and interact with other students and like pretty much kickstart their creativity and allow them to get involved. So yeah, I think it should be implemented in more classes. And not every teacher does this, so one way that you could start to do this is by maybe asking your teacher, oh hey, we used to do this in my English class, for example. I think that's what I'm gonna do next semester. Um, Depending on the class, we used to watch a 3 minute video about like anything just to kickstart our creativity and like involvement with other people in the class. And if they say yes and everything's good, well, you can get to it. You could just every pick anyone and just keep on going. And yeah, I think it really helps with learning. Another thing that I wanted to talk on were the projects. I really like them a lot. They're nothing like high school projects. I'll show you how. I think that the main problem with the projects that we've been assigned is that since we're all used to the high school way of grading, we think that we need to have like an outstanding paper that is full of information that you can find online and intrigues the reader somehow. Um, while that is true, it is not as extreme as high school. In college, we're graded based on our ideas and thought, which is then transferred into a research paper, which we are allowed to get creative with. I think that this way of grading does improve our drive towards making a good project, which we are passionate about. I think that in the future, I will focus more on the value of my ideas than following a certain script. In high school, we're usually like graded based on something like this, your appearance, your language, your content, your organization planning, multimedia design, etc. It's just they're not really grading you on your idea, they're grading on the whole picture, which I mean, it's not bad, but I mean, in an English class, you should be grading on your ideas and creativity and how you transfer that and make something out of it. So I really like that about the projects that we do in Miss Bonnie's class. For example, this is the first project that we kind of sort of have to do. It's also our final and our first project, which is kind of funny. But I mean, it's really interactive. We add to it throughout the semester. It's just fun. Everything that I did here, all this work, all this information, I all did it not with like a grunge in my face. I did it with like passion to do it, which I'm really thankful for. That Miss Bonnie, gave us that spark in our brain that help us, create instead of just write on a paper and hope it's good for the teacher to sort of read through it and grade based on her thoughts. One thing that I had trouble with was satisfaction with my work. I think that the second biggest problem is that I would often not be satisfied with my work, or maybe I would feel insecure about it. I remember a lot of times when turning an assignment, I would second doubt myself and think that it was not good enough, or maybe it wasn't what she specifically asks for. I think that most of us felt that way because of the way that we were asked to do it again in high school. I think it really like scars us to not think that we're good enough ever, and we're gonna get graded on super hard on something that we thought it was good, and just like, stuff like that. I feel like this is like the correct approach. Um, Otherwise, you get like a bad grade. Now, I have learned that if I think I did a good job or something, I shouldn't second doubt myself. Um, Thanks to Miss Bonnie and like, her support. Um, we created stuff that we believed in, and we worked on topics that we cared about, and she didn't, grade us bad on depending on like what we did or like what project we chose. She graded us on our ideas, which I think is really nice of her. For an example, this is like this paper that I did. It's obviously like well written. It's obviously like well taken care of. It's obviously, like you can tell that I tried on this. And maybe if I turned this in high school, in an AP class or something like that, I would get maybe like an 80, even if I tried my hardest and I like really cared about it. Just because they followed again the same like just the criteria of like, oh, you're spelling the way that you wrote this. You didn't have enough, uh, maybe symbols of writing or stuff like that. Uh, But I mean, I hope I do this. I hope I do good in this research paper. I really tried hard and I fixed it up and everything, and I'm really proud of it. So yeah, I hope she likes it. In the future, I won't second doubt myself as much. Miss Bunny has taught me that I need to believe in myself and that I do a good enough job all the time. Um, if I really put my mind to it. So I thank her a lot for that. One of the most important things that I learned in this class was how to take feedback and how to give proper feedback to others. I think that learning strategies about what a paper should answer are extremely helpful to remind the reader what they're trying to accomplish. When giving feedback, I usually see the writer slowly drift away from his main point, answering it all in the final sentences, which is not effective. I think that this can make the reader lose interest. I think that in the future I will use this not only in writing but in everyday practices. I think that giving any sort of recommendations to someone when they seem to struggle or not is well appreciated and makes them capable of doing whatever they want to do even better. Example, the feedback being used is here. We had a project, an essay project of a revised proposal, and you know, for example, this is let me find mine. This is my project, right? And I turned it in and I showed everyone what I did and my draft and whatnot. And I answered some of these questions, and all of my com fellow classmates helped me with what I should write or what I should add onto the paper, what I should delete, which I really appreciate. And I also did it for them, uh, for Citlali, Roberto, and Saul. And we all each got like 3 points of views that we didn't have before. We all gave 3 points of views to like the three different other people from the project, and I think that it's really valuable for us to have just like another opinion on our project. What I know about myself as a writer, I know that I tend to try to stay in to a format which is kind of boring. Now that I have the ability to actually express myself in college, I learned that I can be as creative as I want. In any project of mine in college, I think it's not about the word you decide to use or the English cliches that you use. It's more about the ideas of how you explain them. Knowing this, I can now start to practice my creativity and ideas more than I do with my writing. Uh, More than I do with writing like rather than just trying to have perfect essay. I thank Miss Bunny for teaching me and guiding me throughout the semester. Um, she has now helped me become a better version of myself, and I really thank her for that. And that concludes my final. Thank you so much.